Speak from your heavens, and the earth will hear. Oh, speak from your heavens.
God is moving all over the earth, doing marvelous things according to the counsel of his own will. He has sent his own apostle of reformation and a cleansing prophet, Apostle Dr. Emmanuel Onwaro, to execute his counsel. You will be hearing him shortly.
My altar is calling you.
Beyond nature. Let's travel that a little bit. I believe God will give you something to take away today. His word will enter you. And it's not just his, when God's word is coming, God himself is coming. Because in the beginning was the word, and the word was with God, and the word was God. So when we are truly presenting his word with the quantity or quality of unction we ought to, it is actually God we are giving to people. The word was with God, and the word was God. So when the word is effectively disseminated, it is God that is disseminated. Because the word carries the potentials of God and who he is. So we're going to dwell a little bit on beyond nature. We are driving us to where we ought to be. We are showing us what we needed to know to walk the way God wants us to walk on earth. Because there are many things that are before us, and there are many things that are possible. But we are steering you. I want to start by telling you, we know man was created by God, yes. When we came into this world, we found out what we call nature. Is it not? Everything we met in this world that is not created by man, the trees, the leaves, the rising sun, nature. When we are created, we saw ourselves walking on two legs. Is that not nature? Is man created to be flying physically? No. Nature is that it should walk. Is it not? The birds are created to fly, certainly not to swim, not to be swimming under the sea like fishes. That's nature. So everything we met, the way it is nature. Are you following me? Nature is the natural physical world, including plants, animal, landscape, etc. The natural physical world. Everything we see there, nature. Nature is the way God puts it and what we see when we come. Nature. You understand? Of course, I say all animal, plant, and other things in the world that are not made by people. And all the events and processes that are not caused by people. I've already described it. A woman takes it 9 months later, she gives birth. Nobody created it. It's God that selected 9 months. Because of what 9 means to God. 3 times 3. Nature. Everything you meet, event, processes, is called nature. Now, we all know and we are all acquainted with nature. As a matter of fact, we are used to nature. We came into this world and we met nature. That's good. Today, I'm touching on beyond nature. Now, let me make something very clear to you. God himself is beyond nature. But in nature, you can see God. Is it clear? That God created man to be walking in 2 legs. Does it mean that God must walk in 2 legs? No, God can fly, God can disappear, God can do anything. So that he created what we call nature does not, but the man who created it is supernatural. You can use the word supernatural. He beyond nature. Now, man was created a little lower than angels, that the Bible said, and given our human body, which is lesser than maybe beings like angels that are purely spirit. Even though man is unique, in that man was created after the image of God. Where my drift is, because there are so many things to be said when we want to talk. What we want to show you today is that in as much as we are beings of nature, beings that are in this world, of course created by God and subject to nature, let it be made known and stated categorically. There are times when we need to go against nature. There are times we need to go beyond the nature. There are times we need to ignore nature and operate beyond it if we can fulfill all God wants us to fulfill in this world. If we are always talking about nature, the limitation of nature will catch up with us. The limitation of nature. Moses did not leave this world because he was tired. I will come to that one of these days. It's not my message for today. Deuteronomy 34:7 says now Moses was 120 years. He says his eyes was not dim, nor his natural force abated. He just left because the mission was completed. There was something he broke, but let's leave that alone. We're going to see from the Bible that yes, we walk on our two legs. The day it becomes so necessary, we fly. I'm afraid we have to take off. Are you hearing me? Because if you don't see this thing clearly and appropriate them, the limitation of nature may bring people down. The man of God testified that day how he walked into a place and somebody used gun and shot him. How many bullets? I know how many people have that testimony. Shoot, poop, poop, poop. How many times he shot him? The bullet did not, it didn't go through. Is it not natural that when they put gun and fire, it either on a human, either it kill or at least injure that human? It's not natural. If that man did not go beyond nature, he'll be dead by now. The same person gave a testimony how he entered a place and somebody just poured something that looked like water on him. When he cleaned himself, what is all this? But the thing that time what he cleaned touched the rock started burning. The handkerchief when the started burning, they said that was acid. They poured the acid on him. It fell, burned the rock. Look at it on his face. Not scar. If it was, man's skin is not naturally created to tolerate acid. Is it not? Many people have been received a bathing of acid. Some died. Some were permanently disfigured. If the man did not go beyond nature, at least for that moment, he will be deformed by now. I want to show you, in as much as we are human, there is a clarion call that we go beyond nature from time to time. May God give you understanding. There is a clarion call that we go beyond nature from time to time. From time to time. It will be needed. When Elijah prophesied rain, he said rain will never fall until I say so. The man broke nature. Okay. When he finally says so, and he told Ahab, get ready, the rain is not coming. 3.5 years there was no rain. They were in the open field. And the way the rain was to fall after 3.5 years was horrible. It was to come with windstorm. Anybody that is outside, I put in the best, So he told Ahab, rather, run quickly. Finally, I've said it, let the rain come. But as Ahab mounted the horse and started running, Elijah was left in the dark. The prophecy he gave was almost sinking him, because the rain will meet him. The rain will meet him in the open field. You read the story well. I will open it because that may not be part of the scripture I read today. When Elijah saw that naturally this rain and let her come down, and naturally the thing will beat and teach him a lesson. The Bible said the hand of God came on Elijah. That was beyond nature. And he ran before Ahab onto the entrance of Jezreel. A human being, an old man, started running and outrunning. They say to the distance of about 40 kilometers, like from here to you would have passed more than half of Kaduna. You have gone beyond Jaji, maybe beyond Mararaba, just that place. From Zaria, he never got tired. He ran and outrun a horse. That is not normal. That's beyond nature. Human energy and strength cannot come. Elijah had to leave nature out of it for him to beat the rain that was coming down. Many people inability to beat nature when it is necessary is the reason for the catastrophe we have on earth. Somebody have cancer. I remember in this part of the world where patients present in late stages. First stage of cancer, that's when you come to hospital. Doctors are devastated. They will just do what they can. Some will even tell you the day you will die. We have one of our consultants in those days. He can predict how long the patient will live. Not because he's a prophet. He knows. He can save 1 more hour. The person will just go. You know, they understand that with this malignant cells that has taken over one's life and all the hematogenic spread that has gotten other systems involved, and the way the whole system has been messed up, the person is gone for good. If something beyond nature, you may say supernatural, the person dies. So families are crying today because they couldn't go beyond nature when it was necessary. Are you hearing me? They couldn't go beyond nature when it is necessary. People are being kidnapped today. They couldn't go beyond nature when it's necessary. Fulani headmans, those miscreants are coming. Somebody will be in their heart, they will just surround them and wipe the family. They couldn't go a little bit beyond nature. So nature is so that if people attack you and enter your house with gun, they will kill you. That's nature. So that if you don't understand that from time to time we must go beyond nature, even after going we can come back normal. Then there are some things we cannot enjoy here. Are you following what I'm saying? I finished preaching one day. I was tired. I'm not with all this my fast. You know, I'm in a fast. I cannot break it. I'm going somewhere to do another heavy preaching. So I was about to pray. Even to pray, I know I had exhausted my strength. I told God, well, I have to go. But God, in this my going out now, let me climb on your shoulder. Let me come and carry me, because I need physical energy. Oh, when I got there and sat down, when it was time I came out, God took me and put me on his shoulder. I'm telling you something literal. All my normal energy, something came on me. The energy and fire with which I went that day, people didn't understand what was happening. That's not me. But God borrowed me himself a while until I'm done. Oh, I remember many years ago, I had a fever. I was having fever. Just, all this fever I have, you say you didn't take any drug. Many years ago, I was shaking. Someone came to my house, but there was a need for us to talk about God. There's a need, but look at me having fever. Look at the way I was almost shaking. There's a need to talk about God. Meeting happened so many, quite. I'm talking about 20 something years ago. I was shaking when the person came. The need to talk is there, but I'm shaking. I just stood up, and that's it. The discussion began. I spoke that day. We discussed. We finished so wonderfully well. I didn't feel nothing happened. As soon as we were done, and he left, I lay down again. I started shaking. I came back to myself. I hear what I'm saying. I had to go beyond nature temporarily. I'm telling you that because if we cannot access a realm beyond nature from time to time, the will of God cannot be done on earth well. You can easily be stopped by idiots. You can run into people and say, I'm not lucky, and they'll stop you. Oh, many people. A classmate of mine, her father ran into robbers. They shot this man and killed him. The other doctor, I think they talked about the other week, I learned from someone. When the robber robbed them, they shot him in front of his wife. Shot him. He was a doctor. Seek him, seek his wife. Armed robbers have come already. They brought the gun out. Nature say, if they shoot you, you die. Bow! He died in front of the wife. No, because he couldn't go beyond nature, he left this world before time. Listen to me. I want you to appreciate what we are going to push out now. Because I'm not just pushing it out. We are pushing God out. After today's truth, you will see how repeatedly you will start going beyond nature from time to time. If you believe that, say amen. You will see repeatedly. You will start accessing. After all, we ought to be working the supernatural. So you will be seeing as stuff as it is necessary. You see it from time to time. As is necessary. As a matter of fact, where nature stop, that is where this realm begins. We asked a physiology professor in our days in school some question of CNS, central nervous system. I remember many years ago, I still remember. We asked him a question that somebody has a question that has to do with CNS. Physiology is the normal functioning of the body. The way the body works. But when you now enter psychiatry, you have got problem has entered, is it not? The normal way the thing function, the brain, something they turn inside. The man answered us this way because the question we're trying to go beyond his field. He said, where physiology ends, that's where psychiatry begins. You understand? He answered us the question. We should go and ask the psychiatrist, maybe, to give us the question. He said, where it ends, that's where psychiatry begins. I'm showing you where nature ends, where we come to that end. What next do we do? What next do we do? I remember during the crisis in that 2011 or so election, or is it 11 or so, is it 15, one of these elections, how they caught up with coppers in some part of the north, they're killing them. One, as they caught up and trying to kill, he called his brother, sister, they are coming to kill me. The brother doesn't know what to do again. He was from far picking the call. He was still hearing the call. Boom, they ended the life of his brother. If he was to go a little bit above nature, then his brother would have survived. I've told you the story I had somewhere of someone in the high sea and they were coming back. When they were returning, all of a sudden a part of the ship broke. Water started entering. So obviously they were sinking. They were sinking. Gradually the ship was going down. Somebody put a call to one of his brother who knows a great man of God. See what is happening. We are dying. As soon as the brother picked it and picked the call, the brother went into swift action and called on the God of that man of God. Prayed and called. As soon as he prayed that prayer, they were in high sea in that ship. Not only film, real life. What I'm telling you related to Nigeria here. The massive fish, a shark, the type that swallowed Jonah, just came from the sea and went and put his head in that hole. He went there, put his head there and blocked it. And that's how he stayed. The ship kept moving, he blocked it. The ship kept moving, the water was not entering until they came at a distance and came to the land and they all survived. Is that natural? Is that natural? Lift up your right hand. What I am describing, after all, you are a child of God. But the manifestation in your life takes a new turn from today. 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 In the name of Jesus, takes a new turn. You begin to see the supernatural. You begin to go beyond nature from time to time. You will go beyond nature and become very rich. You will go beyond nature and live longer. You will go beyond nature and break forth. You will go beyond nature and do unimaginable things. You will go beyond nature and enter realms. You will go beyond nature and fulfill destiny. In Jesus' name. It may not be every day 2 Kings 3. All the second. But from time to time, we need it. We need it. We need it. From time to time, we need it. 2 Kings chapter 3. Let us read our first major verse and see what God has. Because beyond nature is with us. Our Father is with us. You have one life to live on earth. I tell people, you must live it well. You must live it well. You have one life to live on earth. You must live it well. 2 Kings 3. Elisha the prophet prayed a prayer. When they came and sought him, some kings had ganged up against the king of Israel. So in the presence of the king of Judah, Jehoshaphat, they went to Elisha. Elisha said, I wouldn't even look at your direction if not because of Jehoshaphat. But bring me a minstrel. When the minstrel came, the hand of God came on Elisha. I read from verse 6. He came on like King Jehoram. 2 Kings 3:6. Went out of Samaria the same time and numbered all Israel. And he went out and sent to Jehoshaphat the king of Judah, and so on. Okay, verse 9. Okay, 10. And the king of Israel said, alas, that the Lord had called these three kings together to deliver them into the hand of Moab. But Jehovah said, is there not here a prophet? All right, let's jump to verse 13. Elisha said unto the king of Israel, what have I to do with thee? Get thee to the prophet of thy father, the prophet of thy mother. And the king of Israel said unto him, nay, for the Lord, and so on. Verse 15. But now, bring me a minstrel. It came to pass when the minstrel played, that the hand of the Lord came upon him, and he said, thus said the Lord, make this valley full of ditches. Dig ditches, dig a lot of hole in this valley. Dig it. For thus said the Lord, ye shall not see wind, neither shall ye see rain, yet that valley shall be filled with water, that you may drink, both you and your cattle and your beasts. And this is but a lighting in the sight of the Lord. He will deliver the Moabite also into your hand. And ye shall smite every fenced city and every choice city, and shall fell every good tree and stop all the wells of water and mire every good tree, and so on. Verse 20. It came to pass in the morning, when the meat offering was offered, behold, there came water by the way of Edom, and the country was filled with water. In 17, he said, you will not see wind, you will not see rain, yet this valley, all these ditches you are digging, will be filled with water. I'm starting off from there. All these ditches will be filled with water. The natural phenomenon in nature is simple. You see wind come, you see rain fall, then you see the place filled with water. Is that not the natural thing? But Elisha told them emphatically and categorically that dig these ditches, so they are not natural river channel. So they are artificial, it's not like a dam. They are artificially constructed. Dig it. But let me quickly tell you, you will not see rain as usual. You will not see wind, yet this valley will be filled with water. Al-Kabai. What was Elisha saying? Invariably, he was telling them, we are going to go beyond nature. We are going to go beyond the normal event. Bible said God went to Moab and did whatever, and water just came. It was beyond nature. I told you the other day, they said 1 + 1 is 2. What if God add 1 + 1 and get 16? How do you explain that? They went beyond human arithmetic, human calculation, normal way of seeing things. He said, even though the natural law of wind coming, rain falling did not occur, yet the valley will still be filled with rain. I want to show you something important. Don't be a slave of nature. Don't be a slave of nature. Don't be a slave. When it is necessary, we go beyond nature. We have to. Even when some things are not put together, we have to. Some people say, I'm torn, I'm looking for a job. So because you are looking for a job, you will die of hunger. It's natural that because he doesn't have a job, he will be suffering. That's natural. You don't have a means of income, and possibly nobody is helping him. It's natural that he will see stars. But is it not super? Is it not beyond nature? While you are looking for a job, before you even lay your hand on anything serious. Yet, God is feeding you. Yet, God is giving you pocket money. Yet, you are living as though you have a job. Why that thing doesn't happen to people is that they have never accepted it. Some people will even tell you, how do you give me money I did not work for? Say, I didn't work for it. Why should I have it? I didn't work for it. Why should I have it? Oh, no. As long as you keep accepting natural phenomenon, which is right, but when it's necessary to go beyond, that's why Elijah warned. Even if the rain is not seen, even if there must still and there should still, the water will fill everywhere. As you continue in this life, have this mentality and mindset that you are not going to be always subjected to nature. You are not going to be always subjected to nature. When you get tired, God can give you his own energy. When you exhaust your resources, God can take care of you with his own resources. When God was carrying Israel through the wilderness, they had to go. How will they be farming? How will they be getting food for years in an arid region, in a dry region? God said, don't worry. At least for these 40 years, we just have to go beyond nature. Among the many things he did was the rain of the heavenly food. The Bible captures it in Psalms that they ate the corn of angels. In another place he said they ate angels' food. God was left with no choice for them to continue wilderness for 40 years. There's no famine, no place to buy food. He was left with no choice than to go beyond nature, and started raining. It was no longer the normal plant and wait for it to grow. Manna started falling. Directly they will take it and go and cook it. They ate the corn of heaven. They ate the food of angels because it became necessary. You can imagine them going to the wilderness, and such is not done. They will die there. They will die there. Another great thing we have emphasized: where will they get textile? How do you buy shoe? You are growing every day. Where is the market? No market. They are just going. So God was left with no choice. The clothes they wear never got worn out. That's scripture. All the shoes were growing with their leg. Read it. It was growing with their leg. The clothes never won. God had to say, nature, stop. If the situation demands that we go a little bit beyond nature. Are you hearing me? I want you to see this in so that when we begin to pray, you appropriate them well. Because as long as you keep serving and being a slave to nature, we will be terribly limited. Once somebody have a disease that is supposed to die, he must die. Anytime whatever die. Someone told me an accident that happened one day. The way the story came, the wonderful mother was in the car. When the thing happened, very bloody accident. From the way the story got to me, they said the brother just saw himself sitting by the roadside. See the car. How did he get there? From the way they said, whether God took him from the steering and took him from inside, took him through the boots, he made him invisible. The boy just sat down by the side of the road, see his car gone. Okay, he would have been dead by now. The church must confound the world with her dexterity in going beyond nature from time to time. That's part of the wisdom of the church. Are you hearing me? We must confound the world with such dexterity. We must, because God has given it to us. You will not see rain, you will not see wind, yet the valley will be filled with water. People cannot understand you again, no. People cannot calculate your life again, no. Some people say you budget according to your means. Correct, that's one level. But you can put a thing down based on what you know God can do. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Based on what you know God can do. Let it be clear to you that we Christians will go beyond nature whenever it is necessary. Beyond nature, when it's necessary, we will go beyond nature. From time to time, we're not going to waste time. Let's go to Exodus 34. Let's read something. Beyond nature. We're not going to be slaves to nature all the time. We're not going to be slaves to nature. We couldn't have been. Beyond nature. We respect nature. We agree. But let me tell you, when it's natural, when it's necessary, we will always go beyond it. Exodus 34:29. I'll read from 29 down to 35. This was the second time Moses went to see God. And it came to pass, when Moses came down from Mount Sinai with 2 tables of testimony in Moses' hand, when he came down from Mount, that Moses wist not, that's old English, for he did not know that the skin of his face shined when he talked with him. And when Aaron and all the children of Israel saw Moses, behold, the skin of his face shone. They were afraid to come nigh him. Moses called unto them, and Aaron and all the elders, rulers of the congregation, returned unto him, and Moses talked with them. Afterward, all the children of Israel came nigh, and he gave them a commandment, all that the Lord had spoken with him in Mount Sinai. Until Moses had done speaking with them, he put a veil in his face. When Moses went in before the Lord to speak with the Lord, he took the veil off until he came out. And he came out and spoke on the children of Israel that which he was commanded. And the children of Israel saw the face of Moses, that the skin of Moses' face shone. And Moses put a veil upon his face again until he went in to speak with him. What we are reading, you know the story well. He spoke with God until the skin of his face changed. When he was descending from mountain, the children of Israel started seeing 2 sons. The normal sun they know, and another sun that is coming down. They were confused. When the sun came down, they said it was Moses. His face was shining like sun. You can imagine that children of Israel were millions. Let's appreciate this scripture. Millions of people, not thousands. So you can imagine the distance. Yet when he started talking, his face so radiated like the sun that they had to quickly use veil, cover it until he went to be with God. Moses is staying before God. Enter an unnatural phenomenon. His skin changed. It was totally unnatural. For his face to become the sun. But it became shining like the sun. That's why we must stay before God. But I don't really have time to enter much of that. But we saw, listen to me, you can do things that is unnatural. You can have experiences that will impact on people that is unnatural. And God is willing to give you so much of them. He had to cover the face. He wants to give you so much of them. He wants to give you so much of them. So that we can confound this earth and establish it. Because the church did not emphasize the supernatural. I'm talking about exploit that is beyond nature. That's why she did not move the way she ought to move. The church as a whole. And that's why unbelievers sometimes we want to challenge us. That's why they will want to challenge us at times. Because they believe they can. That's why they want to frustrate you in your place of work. By the time they try to frustrate you, you demonstrate to them some things they will run away from. They will be very careful. That's why they try to frustrate you. They don't know, even though you're a co-worker there, you have the authority to sack them. But in the constitution, you are not the one that can sack because you never hired them. But based on what I'm showing you, you can sack them without being the one that hired them. We must accept this truth, and it must be deployed from time to time. Are you following what I'm saying? He covered his face because unnatural things have started unfolding in his life. I'm going to do quick so that I'll finish. What is coming around you must not always be natural. Some ladies think For them to marry, must always be dressed so fine, get so attractive physically to the guy. He will see you, he will like you. Sometimes those things does not just work. It doesn't work. Can God wake up to give you husband and not give you husband? Can God do it? It's not possible for God to tell you, I'm bringing husband now, not give you. See not? Let us go beyond the normal phenomenon from time to time, and we'll be able to enjoy a lot of things that God has kept for us. In Acts 5:18, let's open that scripture. Acts chapter 5 verse 18. Beyond nature, the early church was hearing from the rock of this reality. The early church operated in this order. The church came from this dimension. That is where we came from. Acts 15 verse 18. Peter got preaching. In 15, 16, 17, we saw his shadow working miracles. That one too was not natural. But what happened from verse 17? They got very angry with him. Then the high priest rose up. All that we are with him, which were a sect of the Sabbath, and we are filled with indignation. People must get angry at you in this life. They were filled with indignation and laid their hands on the apostle. When they laid their hand, is natural because they are much in number. They came and overpowered the apostle physically and put them in the common prison. Now, when they put them in the common prison, which is natural, that you can be bundled physically and put and locked up, that's natural. I love the next verse. After they done that, but the angel, God say, I no go agree. At this stage, when I want to establish the church, I no go agree. The angel, when angels appear, they are not here to do natural things. They are here to do supernatural things. The angel of the Lord by night opened the prison doors and brought them forth and said, go stand and speak in the temple to the people all the words of this life. And when they heard that, they entered into the temple early in the morning. But the high priest came, and they were with him and called the council together, all the senate of Israel, of Egypt, of children of Israel, and sent to the prison to have them brought. People that were locked in prison suddenly were preaching somewhere. Not one person, all the apostles, 12 of them. They saw the people, they bound the preaching somewhere. Verse 22. But when the officers came and found them not in the prison, they returned and said, saying, the prison truly found we shut with all safety. All that human being had to offer, they keep us standing without before the door. But when we had opened, we found no man within. Now when the high priest and the captain of the temple and the chief priest had this, they doubted of them, we are wrong to this would grow. That is how the church ought to look like. The leaders, authority, those in government started getting afraid. 25, then came one and told them, saying, behold, the man whom you put in prison are standing in the temple and teaching the people. You put them in prison naturally. Beyond nature, they are now in the temple. When you go beyond nature, human beings will not handle you easily again. You cast them to die in the prison. See them preaching the gospel in the temple. But I want you to observe something clearly. If you notice, the Bible said the angel came and opened the door. But the irony or the contradiction is that they locked them inside. They had two guards by the door. Those guards were actively alive. Yet when they came later, okay, let's open. They opened, they didn't see them. That means when the angel came, 12 from them, that thing you had angel open door is not physical. Because those in the physical didn't see any open door. Then took them through that place, invisible. Invisible. Maybe when they reach a distance, they now became visible and now enter the temple. Because he repeated himself in Acts 12. Though this time around was only Peter who went through door that was shut again. They went beyond nature, and that's how they were able to finish their ministry. Listen to me. The fact that sometimes the church don't emphasize some of these things at times does not mean that that's not our heritage. If they did not go beyond nature, they would have dealt ruthlessly with them. If they didn't go beyond nature, they were being stopped. And let me tell you the truth before I read the next verse gradually and start winding up. Let me tell you the truth. When the devil studies us and see that we cannot operate outside nature, he will use it to be manipulating us. Okay, the devil will inspire people, go and do this thing, because they don't know that this guy will never go beyond nature. So they will do natural calculation and end up getting some people. Yes, that's why they end up destroying lives or doing whatever they ought to do on natural calculation, where the system of this world is structured that to make some kind of money, they want you to lie. They want you not to tell the truth because you say you want money. They say, all right, you get that money, but it's structured in a way that you will not be able to get there if you don't compromise. That is what they want to do. But let me tell you, when we begin to go beyond nature, even if people use a normal human method to come on us, we will go beyond nature to handle both them and their principal called Satan. I hope what you're saying. I understand what I'm saying. This reality must percolate down into our lives, our family, all our endeavors, as we live truly the life of the supernatural. We must cut out our life from this dimension, and from time to time, let's begin to see it. And when we are in this realm, no human or devil can punish us irrationally. None of them can try to do it. You can see that with this realm, we cannot be disadvantaged again. Are you following me? We cannot be disadvantaged again. We cannot be. I was telling them when I was teaching school of ministry yesterday, with all sense of humility, the little work we have with God, nobody can plan against some of us and succeed. Maybe we are trying to travel. Somebody said, let's wait for him on the road while he's coming. You know, that's how they've dealt with some people. While he's coming, we'll come out, we'll attack him, we'll do this to him. They can never do it, and my God will not tell me. But if God chooses not to tell me, He will do a greater miracle. So there is no plan by any human being that can affect us. Because when they finish their natural calculation, God will take us beyond nature and confound them. Are you hearing what I'm saying? So understand what we are saying. Understand what we are saying. And pitch your tent here permanently. Pitch your tent here. Pitch your tent here. Mark 9:23. Let's read it then. Two more scripture and I'm done. Mark 9:23. Your nature, from time to time, the way Jacob became rich, it was not just normal. After serving his father-in-law 14 years, total of even 20 years, the man still cheated him. The man literally cheated him, dealt with him. Jacob was stranded. So God gave Jacob a wisdom. He told the man, the one that have spot, let it be my own. When the man looked at his cattle, he saw that there's only few of them. All right. Then the angel came to Jacob. You saw what happened. You saw the mating genetic gymnastics that was done there. One man of God said when he get to that scripture, he will jump. Because he said, does it mean God cheated? He said he do how God, he will just jump it. That was the mystery Jacob used. He said he saw the speckled one diving on those ones. He came from that realm and established. Just in order. Power had changed hands. Jacob broke into great wealth. See, as long as you worship nature, as long as you're slave to nature, Satan will stop us and slow us down in life. The way the word of God comes, it comes to break nature. In verse 23, Jesus told that man, you know, in a word we already know, I mean we have said many times, 9:23. What did he say? He said categorically, Jesus said unto him, if thou can believe, all things are possible to him that believeth. All things are possible to him that believeth. Why I needed to catch this verse again is that, let me explain something. When Jesus says all things are possible, he's hitting on things that look as if they are not possible. That's the truth. Do you go believing God? I believe God as I take my bath. Let me be able to bath myself. Is it not natural? Do you go believing God as I eat this food? Let me take my hand and put it in my mouth. There are things that are too natural for you to. This scripture is not necessarily for that. When Jesus said all things are possible, he's rearranging our mindset to start looking at things that are not naturally possible. May God give you understanding. You can't say that because you run normally for 5 minutes and get tired. It's not. It's possible. It's normal. But when he says all things are possible, he's calling on his disciples to think outside the box. He's calling on them to dare believe him for even what nature refuses to give them. May God give you understanding. Even what nature. When Jesus went to the fig tree, we saw what happened. The fig tree said, I want to pluck mango, I want to pluck fig or whatever. The fig tree said, well, I cannot give you any. Jesus said, Though the Bible says it's not his season. Sometimes one say, okay, why did Jesus curse it? He was trying to teach a lesson. It's not his season. Jesus said, he said you will not grow fruit again. He had gone beyond nature. The tree dried up. The tree dried up. That was what he was teaching them. Now, let's get it clear. So God wants us to go beyond nature. Second to the last verse, Exodus 14. Moses was going to go and deliver the children of Israel. Why was Pharaoh able to hold them down? Why were they slaves for, will I say, centuries now? Why? Because they were naturally brought there. They came as visitors. They were given Goshen. Egyptians are the owner of the land. They grew under them. There are many natural factors that gave Egypt an upper hand. So all they are crying, God, what do we do? But they could not do anything outside nature. So the hold of Pharaoh continued. Let me tell you, the hold of the enemy can only go to the extent to which nature is obeyed. When we leave nature, Satan goes away. When we leave nature, we beat his record. That's why people, even soldiers that know how to fight well, go to some general that are suffering witchcraft attack. They will come to man of God. Hey, even though I'm a general, begin to pray. The way they are firing me in the night, I thought you would have used your gun to shoot now. They are coming beyond the normal way we know now. But the wise man came for prayer. He came so that we go beyond nature and use supernatural power to deal with problems that are looking as if it's more than nature. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Let's go beyond it. I'll just read that verse to show you something. What made Moses different is that when he came, he went beyond the natural dictation. He went beyond natural phenomena. He went outside the ordinary course of nature. That was what made him broke the head of Pharaoh. Listen to me. That was what brought the victory. Now, after he dealt with them, I just want you to read. You understand? So after he dealt with them and they left, verse 21. We know when they were going, Pharaoh came to chase them, to deal with them. I just want you to read a verse that is common. Well, let's read it. And Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and the Lord caused the sea to go back by a strong east wind. all that night, and made the sea dry land, and the water were divided. And the children of Israel went into the midst of the sea upon dry ground, and the waters were a wall unto them on their right hand and on their left. Oh, I love that. Let me remind you quickly. What Moses used to divide that sea was just a shepherd's rod in the physical. And Moses stretched the rod. He stretched it. He lifted up his man and stretched his hand with the rod over the sea. Come, I ask you a question. Is it natural that when you put your rod over a sea, it will divide? It's not natural. The useless Pharaoh and his useless army, we are coming. See their target. Those are military, they say target on sight. Fire! See target. They've gotten there finally. See the horse, when they were coming, the children of Israel screamed. Now if you noticed, all the time Pharaoh came to, Moses came to Pharaoh. Pharaoh had never organized Egypt to go and attack Israel. They were still suffering the 10th plague for one plate. He never mobilized soldiers. Let's go. So after Moses supernaturally dealt with him, he thought, after all, who are these people? Is it because we are just watching Moses coming and telling us nonsense? Let's now go physically. After all, we are more than them. Let's go physically and go and kill them. So they came near, see Israelites. Moses, who knew God well, said, make una no worry, stand still. You will see the salvation of the Lord. These Egyptians, you will not see them again. We saw what happened, how the angel went behind and brought that. But what the part I focused on now is that he stretched the rod. I ask you a question. When the useless Pharaoh and his useless army were coming, they did not see this. Oh, when you refuse to go beyond nature, they can study you, stereotype you, and master you and cut you down. They did not see this because all the 10 plague, this is not part of it. They didn't see this coming. When they thought we have gotten them, see sea in their front, see mountain by the side, see us behind, we are done with them. That was when the next joker came out. Moses lifted up his hand. That hand was what broke nature, and they went beyond nature, or else the whole generation would have perished. The sea parted, all of them went through and went through. The Bible says later the useless army came to also go through. Moses turned back and did the same thing. When you go beyond nature, you escape. When you go beyond nature, you sink the enemy. That's the law. You sink. That's why anybody that pray and the blind eye can open, you can also pray, and the person that is seeing, his eyes will close. By the same law with which you go outside nature, you can also come and go against Satan and all he has to offer. The enemy will not know the next thing you are about to do in Jesus' name. Unbelievers will not know the next dimension you are about to break into in Jesus' name. The way you will enter this world, they will not understand. The dimension with which your influence will come out, they never saw it coming. They never saw it coming. In the name of Jesus Christ. It's beyond them. It's beyond them. In the name of Jesus. I'm going to read the last verse. They didn't see it coming. Even Jesus, our master, God left them, they caught him. Luke 24. That's the last verse. They caught him. When they caught him, they hung him on the cross. I mean, that's normal. They didn't know that hanging of the cross is not just physically, they were doing their drama. They did not know the spiritual implication of that. But what I want you to see in Luke 24 is that after they had killed Jesus Christ, he was dead. It's appointed unto man to die once. After all, Jesus came as a man. And after that judgment, so says the scripture. After they have done with him, they say, we are done with him. We are done with him. 24 verse 1. Upon the first day of the week, very early in the morning, there came on the sepulchre, bringing the spices which they had prepared, certain others with them. And they found a stone rolled away from the sepulchre. They entered in and found not the body of the Lord Jesus. He was laid there. They saw the way they laid the body there. Natural. But what has made this body disappear? Somebody said, well, they came and stole the body. Let's read further. It came to pass, as they were much perplexed thereabout, because 2 men stood by them in shining garments. These men, you know who they are. They come in shining garments. They are not natural beings. They are supernatural beings. Verse 5. And as they were afraid and bowed down with their faces to the earth, they said unto them, why seek ye the living among the dead? Dead, yes, because they said they killed him, but they did not know he was living. 6. They gave them the breaking news. He is not here, but is risen. Remember how that he spake unto you when he was yet in Galilee, saying, the Son of Man must be delivered in the hands of sinful men and be crucified, which is normal. But that last line is the one that is beyond understanding. And the third day rise again. When you allow men to do things naturally, summarize it with the supernatural. They caught him crucified. The message there is that he is risen. All I want you to see clearly, when natural law came to play, Jesus died physically. 3 days beyond nature, he rose up. And his own is so terrible. He rose up in a way that conquered death. He didn't just rise up and die again. He rose up not to die again as a man. That's why he ascended the heaven bodily as a man. He broke the law of nature. Jesus had to go beyond nature to save us. Salvation was possible. He went beyond nature. The life-giving spirit that conquered death and brought life and immortality to light came as a man. He said God came as a man, seen by angel, received up into glory. He had to resurrect. He has to cancel normal nature to reach out to us. Listen to me. He expects us to continue in the same. He expects us. I want to remind you, he resurrected, and that's what saves us. Up to today, the way we are saved is a deep thing. Those of you that got born again properly, you just see the transformation. Something changed inside you. You know that God, the life of God is now in you. You know you are now associated with the Lord. You know he lives in you. Even born again is supernatural. Some people have tried to be good, but they are not born again. They did not submit themselves to the workings of the Spirit to establish born again phenomenon, which itself is a supernatural experience. Are you hearing what I'm saying? All I am saying in essence as I stop, it's time to go beyond nature when it is necessary. I know we are going to follow nature to the extent to which is healthy. But the day nature messes us up, we will mess nature down. And apply this to your life. Don't follow the methods of the world. Don't follow. Don't always be a slave to the methods of unbelievers. Don't be a slave to them. We have our own methods by which we move. And these are the methods enshrined in the ways of God. And we are going to be going beyond nature. Yeah, supernatural. As it deems fit. Stand to your feet. Let's pray. I want you to pray today. The lot of experience many of you have not heard. Actually, everybody is looking for more. There are many experiences. What this message has done, it has established an order. You are not going to pray to God. Well, if you are not interested in that realm, well, maybe it's you. But if you are interested, pray. God, I begin to go beyond nature. Oh, God, help me. Pray that prayer with the whole of your life. God is giving you an encounter today. Is opening up a new chapter in your life and family. It's opening up a new chapter. Father God, I begin to go beyond nature. Testimonies to this effect is going to litter this altar. Father God, help me. Confess with your mouth from time to time. We're going to go beyond nature. Why we pray is that we seek to establish the supernatural. Why we pray is that we seek the intervention of God in natural affairs. Why we pray is that we were telling God, even if the wind does not come, even if the rain does not come, let the ditches of our lives be filled with the waters of the Lord. Let the ditches of our life be filled with the waters of the Lord. Albeit supernaturally, we're going to talk to God. Create in me.
For more information and inquiries, you can contact us through the following numbers: 090 67 08 0764 or 081 86 97 1677. I repeat, 090 67 08 0764 or 081 86 97 1677. If you live in Zaria or you're a visitor in Zaria, you can worship with us at Reformation Christian Ministries International, otherwise known as Glorious Reforms Church, located at number 8 on the street opposite Brooks Secondary School Gate, Graceland, Zaria, Kaduna State, Nigeria. You can also reach us on our email address grchq207@gmail.com. God bless you.
My praise is calling you, oh God. My praise is calling you, oh God.